In a way, you need to lose your mind, like lose your old mind or the way your old mind used to process, in order to create a new mind in a new way of processing and perceiving the world, yourself and others. Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, this is Amelia Sina, and today we're gonna talk about how to change a version of you that you don't like. If you want to create a new version of yourself, you first need to stop being the old version of you. In the process of creation, the first function of the frontal lobe is to become self-aware. Because we have metacognitive abilities, which means we have the power to observe our own thoughts, behaviors, we can decide how we no longer want to be, feel, think, or act. This ability to self-reflect enables us to scrutinize ourselves and then make a plan to modify our behaviors so we can produce a more enlightened and desirable outcome. Let's start by this. Your attention is where your energy goes. You send attention somewhere, that's where your energy will be flowing towards. To use attention to empower your life, you will have to examine what you've already created. This is where you begin to know the self. You look at the beliefs about yourself, life, and others. You are what you are, who you are, and where you are because of what you believe about yourself. Your beliefs are the thoughts you consciously or unconsciously keep accepting as the law in your life. Whether you are aware of them or not, they still affect your reality. So if you truly want a new personal reality, you need to start observing at this personality that you have already dressed to yourself. Since they primarily operate below the level of conscious awareness, then they operate much like an automatic software. You'll have to go within and look at these elements you haven't been able to look and be aware of before. Given that your personality comprises how you think, act, or feel, you must pay attention to the unconscious thoughts, reflexive behaviors, and automatic emotional reactions, and put them under observation to determine if they are true and you want to continue to endorse them with your energy. To become familiar with your unconscious states of mind and body takes an act of will, intention, and heightened awareness. If you become more attentive, you will become more conscious. If you grow to be more conscious, you will notice more. If you notice more, you will have a greater ability to observe the self and others, both inner and outer elements of your reality. Ultimately, the more you observe, the more you awaken from the state of unconscious mind to the state of a conscious awareness. The purpose of becoming self-aware is that you no longer allow thoughts, actions, or emotions that you don't prefer and you don't want to experience to pass by your awareness. Thus, in time, the ability to inhibit those states of awareness will fade. They will stop firing and wiring the old neural pathways that created your old personality. And as a result of no longer creating or recreating on a daily basis, you prune away the hardware related to your old self. In addition, by interrupting the feelings associated with those thoughts, you are no longer signaling genes in the same way. You are stopping the body from reaffirming itself as the mind. This is the process whereby you somehow start losing the mind. But that's not a bad thing because you lose the old version of you that you were to create the new. So as you develop the skill of becoming aware of all aspects of the old version of you, you will ultimately become more conscious. So the goal here is to unlearn who you used to be so that you can free up energy to create a new life and a new personality. You can't create a new personal reality with the same personality. You have to create someone else. So metacognition is the first task for moving from the past you to creating the future new you. So, well, you might say, well, how do we do it? How do we create a new mind that thinks differently and creates new ways of being? The second function of the frontal lobe is to create a new mind, to break out of the neural pathways produced by the ways that your brain has been firing for years and influence it to rewire it in new ways. When we set aside time and space so that we can think about new ways of being, this is when the frontal lobe engages in creation. We can imagine fresh possibilities, ask ourselves new questions about who we really want to be, what we really want, how, and what we want to change about ourselves and our circumstances. Because the frontal lobe has the connections to all other parts of the brain, it is able to scan across the neural circuits, to piece together bits of information to create knowledge and experience. Then it picks and chooses between those neural circuits, combining them in a variety of ways to create the new mind. This way it creates a model of internal representation that we see as a picture of our intended result. And it makes really sense that the more knowledge we have, the greater the variety of our neural circuits that we have wired, and the greater the possibility to dream of new or more complex realities or models. To initiate this step of creation, it is always good to step into a place of wonder, contemplation, possibility, reflection, or speculation by asking yourself some important questions. Open-ended questions are ideal to create a stream of consciousness. Questions like, what would it be like to What is a better way to be? What if I was this person living in this reality? Who in history do I admire, and what was his or her admirable traits? The answers that come will naturally form a new mind, because as you sincerely respond to them, your brain will begin to work in new ways. By beginning to mentally rehearse new ways, you start rewiring yourself neurologically to a new mind. And the more that you can re-mind yourself, the more you'll change your brain and your life. Whether you want to be wealthy or be a better parent or a wizard, it might not be a bad idea to fill your brain with knowledge about this topic, so you have more building blocks to build your new model of reality, the one that you want to embrace. Every time that you acquire information, you're adding new synaptic connections, so they serve as raw materials to help you break the pattern of the old ways. The more you learn, the more you will have to change the old personality. So, said shortly, in a way you need to lose your mind, like lose your old mind or the way your old mind used to process, in order to create a new mind in a new way of processing and perceiving the world, yourself and others. Let's let all of this sink in, and hopefully you are inspired to think in new ways and to create the space for yourself to think differently and create new states of mind for yourself, to go to the desired reality that you want to embrace, to the future self that you idealize, to the best version of the future self that you can imagine. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it and find it useful, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I will see you next time. Until then, I hope you have a very great time.